tribe. Welcome to another episode of Wouldn't It Be Wise? I am TheElemystic, intuitive story healer, interdimensional dream weaver, student and guide of the life. And today I was inspired to share with you all something that happened last night. Something that came up very vividly in my nightly wind down session. And it came through intuitively, but then led me to a text that I had never read before. Just a little bit of background. For most of my journey, it's been very intuitively led. I have never really got too caught up in following the texts or the scripts or the things that have been written and said and what was written, maktub. Like, I've never really felt very drawn to following that path. But of course, I have a few of the ancient texts here and there that, I dabble in. And so last night, I'm in my meditation. I'm channeling, the guidance that I need from within, tapping in to my own ancient wisdom. And I'm sitting on my floor, and to my right are a few of my books. Meanwhile, I've moved to another country. I don't have all my things with me, but there were a handful of books that I deemed essential in my packing for no particular reason. One of the books is the Cabal Ian. This guy here. Now, mind you, I've had this book for, I would say, roughly 8 or 9 months. And when I got it, I was like, cool, this is beneficial, because I was called to, bring it into my reality at that time. However, I never really opened the book. Then it was on my shelf, then it was in my things when I was packing, and this is one of the books that I decided to bring with me, on my journey. So last night, I'm pulled, literally, to look to my right, and without even thinking about it, my hand picks up this book, and I just open it. And for me, books are such beautiful tools to use, but they're not the end-all be-all. So the way that I use books a lot, especially, in the last few years, is more as an oracle than something that I need to use as a linear tool from point A to point B. So I opened up this book last night, and the chapter that I open up to, it's the first page of the chapter, and it's called The All. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. So I continue reading, I read through the pages, and suddenly this force, this power, this inexplainable energy comes through me, and I'm reading it with such conviction, with such discernment. And I'm just like, whoa, this is okay, this is something special. So I get to the second to the last page of that chapter, and I'm just radiating. I'm just vibrating at this point, because there was just so much power and truth in these words, in this message, because it was beyond the words. And I get to a line or a section, and if it wasn't clicking before, everything just zeroed in and came into focus. And what I was reading in this book, and what I was winding down and sitting within at the end of my day, it all came into zero focus, 0 point, and a very pinpointed focus. And that kind of brings me to where we are right now. So I want to read this line. The whole thing I would love to read, but this one part in particular that really just shows where we are today, what's transpiring, what's unfolding, and I believe gives just like a little bit of insight and perspective in a different way. So, from the Cabal Ian, the chapter The All, it reads, "The All being infinite, absolute, and eternal, unchangeable, it must follow that anything finite, changeable, fleeting, and conditioned cannot be the All. And as there is nothing outside of the All in reality, then any and all such finite things must be as nothing in reality." And it goes on, and we can continue, but that is the most important part. The All, of course, that they're referring to is the original source creation. The All, God, Allah, source creator, the universe. Whatever terms feel comfortable to you, in this text they refer to it as the All, which is something that I feel like we could all comfortably sit with. The All, the original, the All. So essentially it's saying that the All is infinite. The All is unchangeable. The All is ever expansive. So anything that is finite, changeable, less than the original source, is not that of the All. So to bring this from a philosophical place, into the reality that we're living in, it's just such a beautiful way to look at our real world, our reality right now. And even just taking a minute to look at that word reality. Because for so long we all felt collectively that we were living in this reality. But if you look at the world right now, with most of the world being in quarantine, or most of the world having basic rights and freedoms restricted, structures coming down, governments crashing, like everything changing, doesn't that show us right now that we weren't living in a reality? Because the reality is substantial, unchangeable, ever-flowing but unchangeable in its core, and the whole world as a whole is changing right now. So this reality that we thought we were living in, the veil is gone. That false sense of reality has come down, and now what we are in right now is the building, the foundation, the construction of a reality. So again, back to this passage. The All being infinite and unchangeable, and that which is not the All being the finite and the changeable. We're seeing all the things that are of the finite and the changeable dissipating, disappearing, losing all sense of foundation and structure. It's all coming down. So can't we pose the question, and wouldn't it be wise to speculate that all the things that are leaving this reality that we thought we've been living in are not of the All? Because if they were, they would infinitely stand. They would be unchangeable in their nature. And this is not to downplay the real emotions and the real suffering and the real discomfort that many people are experiencing at this time. But whether you look at it as people being affected with this situation at hand, or if you look at it as businesses, structures, and things falling down, it's just to say that these things are all finite, and they are not in alignment, and they are not all in alignment or coming or derived from that original source, from that all creation. It's evident. Because if a life is leaving, there's a part of it that was not finite, are not necessary in this shift that's occurring. Now, this is a personal view, personal opinion, personal take on this all. And again, this is not to discredit or to belittle the emotions and the real lives lost in these situations. But if we just put it in terms of this, or put it, looking merely through the lens of finite versus infinite, we can evidently see that all the beings that are leaving this planet at this time were connected in one way or another to a finite source, to something that was changeable, to something that could be destroyed or removed, for lack of better terms. Now, everyone who is here, standing in their power, speaking their truth, however uncomfortable or comfortable that may be, I feel is connected and tapped in to an infinite source. Tapped in and tuned in to the knowledge, innate wisdom that we come from and are a part of this all creation. Now, that does not mean that you were born a guru, meditating your whole life and you always had this wisdom within you. A lot of people are just waking up to this awareness. But hey, guess what? Whether you get to the train 5 minutes early or you get there right before the doors closed, if you make it on that train, you make it on that train, and that's all that matters. So the beings and the people and the humans that are awakened to this wisdom, and in one way or another have always been tuned into this wisdom, have always had a knowledge that they are connected to an all, that they are part of an all that is the originator of creation, then we are here. We are standing firmly, we are standing strong, and this is our time to thrive in our infinite nature. Now, all the beings and structures and constitutions that were connected to that false, finite source are being dissipated. And you can look at this whatever way that you choose, but it's just, in this sense, it is really a plain black and white situation. So it doesn't matter where your story began. It's where are you standing right now? Because we are going through a powerful cosmic shift, a powerful universal alignment that is occurring, and we're seeing it within our planet. We're seeing it within every aspect of life, of beingness right now. So it doesn't matter if you feel like you've been lost all your life, but there's always some part of you that felt like you were trying to get back to a wholeness, trying to get back or trying to get in tune with an infinite, with an infinity, with the all. And this is the time to speculate. This is the time to examine and pull back layers and see the parts of yourself that were yearning and leaning and searching to get back to that all, and the parts of yourself that were living in a finite space, and let them dissipate, let them fall away, let them disappear, because they were never meant to last. They were never meant to sustain this shift that we're going through. So let them fall away. So all in all, I feel like the wouldn't it be wise of it all right now is, wouldn't it be wise to take a look at the parts of me and at the parts of my reality that I thought were a reality, but no longer seem to fit that idea that I once held so near and dear? Wouldn't it be wise to look at the parts of me that no longer serve and realize that they're a part of the finite space that's falling away. And wouldn't it be wise to lean into the infinity, to lean into the unchangeable, to finally come back and connect with that all that is? It's all about asking the right questions. It's all about having that deep spiritual curiosity. So family, tribe, I am TheElemystic. I am lover, friend, guide, student, and I send you nothing but love, peace, and curiosity on your journey.